The first element of international system before or pre-World War I and II. Balance of power. The European nations since 12th century perpetrated innumerable cruelties upon the innocent people of Asia, Africa, and America, irrespective of race, creed, color, and religion. The European nations tried to spread and successfully imposed their cultural, ideological, and political sphere through war and execution. The Spanish-American War of 1898 revealed the first crack in the system of European balance of power that had governed global relations since 1815. The European powers were main players and regarded balance of power as vital device of power management. The European states acted as the manipulators of the international system, and imperial guards exercised authority to rule over Asian, African, and Latin American territories. Balance of power was the fundamental principle of pre-war international system. Relations among states were conducted under this principle. Under this principle, the European states used to preserve a sort of balance in their relations. They remained involved in struggle for attaining more power, but the rule was that no state was to be permitted to become unduly powerful or strong. England used to act as a balancer between France and Germany, and in fact in the Europe as a whole. The failure and imbalance in balance of power facilitated the immense collapse of European international system. Under this principle, the European states used to preserve a sort of balance in their power relations and tried to avoid interfering into the affairs of subjugated colonies in the world. However, they secretly involved in struggle for attaining more power and colonies in disregard of established principle of not interfering into internal affairs. Nevertheless, greed compelled them to vie for occupation of more and more areas under their control and sustained what they have captured by brutal force. This violation of balance of power resulted into competition and eventually ended in conflict. Britain, being a powerful, used to act as a balancer between France and Germany. The improper balance of power system led to the emergence of two rival or antagonist groups, first France and Russia group, and Germany and Austrian-Hungarian Empire group. The antagonism between the two rival groups immersed the world in the First World War. They wrecked not only balance of power system but also gave a big disintegrative blow to the international system as a whole. The extensive impact was visible in political, social, and economic fields. Their fabric was tarnished and degraded as they dishonored the social life of their subjugated people during their inclement rule. It really transforms not only Europe but also entire humanity around the world. The world has witnessed that mighty European powers remain victor with empty-handed and utter destruction. Nevertheless, in real sense, they lost not only the war but also sank into oblivion. The emergence of strong ideological rivalry led to the emergence of new notion of international system and international relations. European states realized the threat of emergence of German power and its clandestine support to nationalist political and economic movement around the world. These powers adopted the policy of fighting the menace of new emerging ideologies. The emerging ideologies were gaining ground due to failure of brutal colonial policies and socio-economic inequalities not only in the Europe but also in the entire world. Containment of these emerging ideologies and massive retaliation became primary aim of colonial powers. The colonial powers were utterly humiliated and defeated by the United States during the War of Independence. They became feeble and lost position to take any retaliatory action against US due to remoteness and economic and military strength of US. The people around the world were struggling to bury the colonial powers. They were following the principles adopted or practiced in the US. In the process, there developed a sense of uncertainty and world politics, which made international system unstable. Okay, in the next lecture, I will give detail on nationalism